As you can imagine, one of the top requests we get at Spectrasonics is for more guitar sounds. So hey, we listened, and at long last, we are absolutely thrilled to introduce Nylon Sky. Now this is a very special new sonic extension that brings the most incredible nylon string acoustic guitar ever done for Omnisphere into entirely new dimensions. The master artisan behind Nylon Sky is the one and only Bob Daspit, who created all the original classic guitar sounds in Omnisphere. And those killer guitar patches are legendary, but of course, we've learned a lot since then. So for us, it's super exciting that Nylon Sky has all the advancements that we've made since then, from deep sampling articulations and custom effects design to innovative software development and multi-channel sound sources. This is seriously just awesome stuff. Oh, and don't miss the behind the scenes video, which goes into a lot more detail about Bob's history with us and our good friend Hans Zimmer, and a lot more. Okay, so enough talking. With the included new Sky effects, there's a lot to cover today, so let's get into it. Let's start with the Nylon Sky Expressivo guitar, and this is totally dry with no effects at all. That is so much fun to play, and it's incredibly responsive to your touch. And that's because of the super deep, detailed sampling, round robins, articulations, release noises, legato. We'll get into all of it. Okay, so now let's take a look at the special custom controls that we have for the main guitar sounds and see where we can go with it. Now, each of the controls on the interface is connected in sophisticated ways to advanced parameters way behind the scenes in Omnisphere. But the custom controls make them really easy to use. Let me show you this special Realism knob here. So when I was playing, did you notice all the little noises that were happening? All those little string squeaks and thumps and breathing and fret noises? They make a big difference in how real it sounds. Let me just show you what that sounds like here. So this Realism knob lets you dial in exactly how much imperfection that you want. So let me take it all the way down. Okay, so that's with none of it. And then let's try about 50%. And then all the way up. So you can hear that makes a huge difference in the realism of the sound, hence the name of the knob. Okay, now in the center of the interface, we have a mixer, which allows us control over our multi-miking setup. So the first pair of mics is an XY configuration, and that gives you a very focused sound. It sounds like this. Then the next stereo pair is a wide stereo, and that sounds like this. Then we have a mono tube mic that has a more traditional kind of sound. And you can make your own blends of these mics to your own taste because it's all completely in phase, which is incredibly useful. So all these advances are really powerful, and for fun, let's try comparing Nylon Sky against the original classic nylon in Omnisphere's library. So here is Nylon Sky. And here is the original. So as you can hear, we're talking about a difference in light years. Once again, here is the Nylon Sky one. Clearly it sounds amazing, but the expressive realism is really just the starting point of Nylon Sky. So let's now get more into the sky part of it. Okay, so you'll notice here on this side of the interface that we've got an analog delay part of the interface here. And this has an interesting story. Bob's own company is Westco Pedals, and they make some fantastic stomp boxes. So one day, Bob was working in his workshop on a prototype analog delay pedal that sounded super vibey, and Bob wondered if he could figure out a way to actually sample it for Nylon Sky. And he did it in a super clever way. So check this out. Let's try, and then we'll bring in the delay. So that tone is really, really creamy. It's the real thing. But what's awesome is that we can actually change the time. And the feedback. And we could even change the pitch. So this gets really interesting because we could put let's put up a fifth. And now the echoes are now a fifth higher. Okay, let's put them up an octave. And change the time a bit here. So that's just super, super lush sounding. So I'll bring that back, and then now let's add in some of this beautiful reverb here. In fact, I'm going to turn the delay down. And now I've got, crank that up a bit. Let's give that a longer tail. Sounding really nice. And we can even add in some clouds. And we'll talk a little bit more about this later in the demo. Check this out. So now let's bring in the analog delay again. We've got that set to an octave, and check this out. Pretty awesome sounding. That is amazing, right? It's crazy how we can go that spacey with these sounds, and that's the sky part of Nylon Sky. And of course, one of the most powerful features of sonic extensions are scenes, which you can think of like snapshots of the custom controls. Each patch includes 5 different scenes, which you can easily select with your computer's left-right arrows like this. So let's listen to the 5 scenes. Scene 1 is our original dry sound. Scene 2 is more of a produced solo sound that is really inspiring. And scene 3 is more like a traditional classical type of sound. And scene 4 is an ambient, pitch-shifted echo type of sound. Very, very cool. Let's try scene 5, and this is more of a bright studio sound. So here's the crazy thing. We've only played one patch in Nylon Sky so far. Okay, so maybe we should play another patch. Why don't we go to our next one? And one of the things that's so great about these guitars is how much character they have. So I'm going to load up this blues legato patch, which features the legato articulation. And we have it set to minor thirds here, and you can control whatever interval you want to use. But this is really cool. Check this out. And of course, you can still get super pristine, clean sounds too. So check this out. This is the clean guitar. And you can kind of go nuts with the harmonics too. So check this out. This has a lot of legato and a lot of fun stuff. It's pretty nutty. That's so much fun to do. And that would actually be pretty tough to do on a real guitar. There are also some incredible guitar textures here too. And so let me load up this next sound here, which is kind of a tribute to Brian Eno. And instead of the analog delays, we've got a wash here. So check this out. Bring up the wash. Make it pitch bend down. So you can make all these amazing kinds of textures in Nylon Sky where you get into kind of these hybrid sounds, which are really, really interesting. So let's try another one. And this one is called Nylon Sines, and it's an amazingly huge sound. And all it really is the guitar you've been hearing, but layered with a sine wave an octave down. So check this out here. That is just huge. So the playable side of Nylon Sky is just awesome. But of course, there's more. So let's check out some of the incredible rhythmic patches that Nylon Sky has. So this is one of the strumming sounds. So how is this happening? Well, we've added some incredible new features to Omnisphere's Arpeggiator, so let's check it out. Now we can go back to Omnisphere's interface by clicking this Custom Controls button here and head over to the Arpeggiator, and look at that. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff happening in there, including new strumming modifiers. There's a strum section where we have downstrokes where we can have the full downstroke of all the strings. We can have just the low strings, the high strings, inverted chords, just the high and low strings of the inverted. Then you have the upstrokes with all of those variations too. And each of the steps has its own slider. This little mini slider controls how fast the stroke is happening. So you can modify and even create your own strumming patterns as well. And there's loads of new strumming presets here in the presets list for the Arpeggiator. Look at that. Awesome. So what is this here on the right side? We have humanity and life. What is that all about? Yep, these are a big reason why these strumming patterns sound so authentic. The new humanity control adds subtle timing imperfections, and when you add in some life, it makes the dynamics more lively too. So these are really incredible new features for Omnisphere's amazing Arpeggiator. So in addition to fingerstyle playing, we also have picked and even flamenco style playing, which uses more of the fingernails. So in this patch, I'm going to turn up the Realism control. Let's crank that up all the way, and let's check it out. Okay, I promise not to say ole. Here's another strumming one that I love that's got some really interesting mutes. And the custom controls on this patch have some interesting variations for pattern. So let's try variation 3 here. And then number 5. And then number 7. This is interesting too. So up next is flourishing mutes, and this one is a really unique muted kind of strum example. Let's check it out here. And this has got some really great scenes, so let's try scene 3 and see what that sounds like. And scene 4 is really, really awesome. Check this out. So as you can hear, it's responding incredibly well to when I'm playing with dynamics, and it follows all of that, which is pretty incredible for an arpeggiator. Let's move on to Dreaming of Venice, which is a great ambient cinematic tremolo kind of sound. Check this out. Really, really beautiful. Now let's see where we can take it with the custom controls. We've got a control here called sequence motion, and let's see what that does. Okay, now I'm going to change the length and watch what happens. Will it Decrease the reverb. Bring the filter down. Turn up the delay. So you can really take Nylon Sky in some very non-guitar directions too. I love that kind of organic hybrid thing. It's super, super cool. All right, so this next one is finger triggers, and it's a super cool reverse harmonics kind of sound. So check this one out. And let's play with the custom controls a bit. Let's bring up some more reverse. And play with the filter a bit. And let's give it some reverb. Turn up those clouds. Change the length. Super ambient and fun. Okay, let's move on to rapid ear movement, which is one of my favorite sounds because it has an almost organic sample and hold vibe to it. And check this out. Such a cool sound. Let's play with it a little bit. Let's try filtering it down a little bit. Lower the length. Turn up the reverb. The clouds. Isn't that crazy that that is a nylon string guitar? So it just shows you the power of what you can do with Nylon Sky. Okay, next up is harmonic bath time, and this has some really beautiful sparse harmonic plucking and some really cool scenes. So here's the first scene. So let's check out scene 2. Really kind of dry and very, very percussive. Let's see what this next one is. Almost like a Collegno pizzicato kind of sound. And let's see what this one's doing. So scenes are great, and it's really important when you're checking out the product that you go through them, because sometimes there'll be scenes in there that really surprise you, like maybe something like this. So yeah, so the ARPs are just killer. Okay, so last but not least, let's talk about the new effects. Nylon Sky includes 2 brand new exclusive effects for Omnisphere, and they're really like the secret sauce of Nylon Sky. Probably my favorite thing is that you can also use them on anything inside Omnisphere, including your own imported audio and on satellite instruments like Keyscape. Let me show you what they sound like. First, we'll listen to Sky Channel, which is a Class A level channel strip based on modeling vintage consoles from the 70s, and it's tuned specifically for this guitar. But it also sounds incredible on anything you run through it. So let's try Keyscape's piano. So I'm going to call up Omnisphere, and I've got Keyscape's piano playing inside it. Okay, and that's what it sounds like, just flat. Okay, and now let's bring up Sky Channel, and right away, so already we're getting some nice character. You can hear it's kind of cutting through a little better. And let me just try cranking up the input, and I'll bring the output down to compensate. Now it's going to saturate that input a little bit. Cool. Now let's try adding some top end. I'm going to bring that gain back. And now we've got and then we'll go to the second page, and you can see that we've got an analog processor on it, and also an enhancer, and this is really cool. This is like the old trick that they used to do with Dolby A in the 70s, where you blend in a little of the original Dolby A signal. So here's what it sounds like without it. And then we'll bring in the enhanced signal, and now it really cuts through. Let's bypass it, and here's the original. So it's got an incredible tape machine simulator and a lot more. So Sky Channel is really, really cool. Next up is Sky Verb, which is absolutely the most gorgeous reverb ever for Omnisphere. This is an incredible effect for anything you throw into it. So let me show you what it can do on something simple like Keyscape's Celeste. Okay, so here's the Celeste sound dry. And then let's see what happens when we turn Sky Verb on. So you can hear that clouds effect that's happening an octave up. So I'm going to turn that down just so you can hear the regular reverb. Let me lengthen that. Beautiful sound. And then let's bring in the clouds again. Turn up the clouds some more. And then let's turn the trails up, and now we've got and there it goes into space. Isn't that amazing? And it'll just keep going. Okay, and without it, so amazing what you can do with Sky Verb. It's so beautiful. So hopefully that gives you a little taste of the sonic possibilities and just how amazing this sonic extension is. With these lush new effects and the incredible new guitar sounds that Bob has designed, Nylon Sky is something that will inspire for a long, long time. I know it will for me. So enjoy.